Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be talking about the ending of the most Star Wars film, The Rise of Skywalker. So in The Rise of Skywalker, at the end, we finally get to see Rey's new lightsaber, which has a yellow/gold tint to it, which is actually a really interesting choice due to where we've seen that in the past. But first and foremost, getting into the lightsaber, Rey, instead of going to Ilum or some other planet that would have a kyber crystal, she used remnants of both Luke/Anakin's lightsaber and as well Leia's lightsaber, which is really interesting choices, I think, while leaving the actual sabers themselves, the mechanical parts of it. Now, focusing on the yellow color, I thought it was really interesting because most commonly when people think about that, they think of the Temple Guardians from both Star Wars The Clone Wars animated series and Star Wars Rebels, which is really interesting because of what they both represent and just because they're so rare. It's a very odd choice. You would expect Rey to go blue or green like most Jedi do, or even something like purple. So to go yellow is not only unique to her, but just a very interesting choice, I guess meaning-wise, if you actually look into the meaning of a yellow lightsaber. So when going to the lightsaber shades, yellow is a very rare choice, usually seen by the Jedi Sentinel. Basically also applying the Force for more practical means instead of just, the common, more spiritual means you may see. And they seem to understand the Force being more so something that you can't rely on for every problem, therefore the more practical use of it, as they want to be able to do things themselves without the Force. I guess more so just using the Force to help them along the way, more so than fixing the entire problem for them. Now the Sentinels, along with that more practical kind of way of approaching the Force, also were in between the other parts of the Jedi, which is the Consulars and the Guardians, which is very interesting because I guess more traditionally, usually green lightsabers were used by Jedi counselors, who are Jedi that prefer to, as it's listed, reflect on the mysteries of the Force more so and kind of internally battle the dark side, while Jedi Guardians, who usually use blue lightsabers, were more of your traditional Jedi Knight in the sense where they use the Force for a more physical, more so than spiritual. So it's kind of interesting the Jedi Sentinels are more so in the middle, using it but not really depending on it entirely to do things, which is actually very fitting for the character of Rey, which we've seen her do various kinds of things practically not utilizing the Force in the past few films. It's said that Jedi Sentinels understood that the Force had certain limitations to it, both from a spiritual sense and physical sense. Now, the really cool thing about Rey's lightsaber, I think, is how she made it not only with using parts of Luke and Leia's saber, crystal-wise or otherwise, but also the fact that she uses her staff, removes part of the end of it, and then that's where she kind of converts it into a pseudo lightsaber. And I say pseudo just because it's not an exact same type of lightsaber as Jedi Knights in the past would have. This is more of like a jury-rigged, lightsaber, which perfectly fits with the character of Rey, who, when we first were introduced to her, was a scavenger. So she basically takes her quarterstaff, turns it into a lightsaber, which is pretty cool. Do you think there's a special meaning of the yellow color as it relates to the character of Rey? Obviously, it's a very interesting choice, so it seems pretty intentional that Lucasfilm would do this. Leave your comments down below, and we'll see you guys later.